As far as mysteries go over the past decade, not many will match the strange circumstances around something called Havana Syndrome, which continues to confound and baffle scientists around the world to this day. This illness or condition didn't exist until 2016, where a member of US Embassy staff located in Havana, Cuba, awoke to a loud, piercing sound in one ear. The member of staff then suffered with severe nausea and vertigo. Since then, similar symptoms have been reported by hundreds or even thousands of others. Interestingly, this has been contained to other officials such as spies and diplomats, rather than members of the public. Suspicions have been directed towards Russia, China and Cuba, with theories suggesting culprits such as sonic weapons or microwave rays, but no one has declared any involvement at all. While the cause of Havana Syndrome is a mystery to this day, let's talk about what we do know about the strange condition. Firstly, the symptoms seem to be similar between anyone suffering with the syndrome. Those affected have reported a range of conditions including dizziness, headache, fatigue, nausea, anxiety, cognitive difficulties, and memory loss. The severity of these conditions varies from person to person. In some cases, affected individuals have left active service due to complications arising from the condition. As far as the victims go, this initially affected US and Canadian staff stationed in Cuba in 2016. Since that point, officials from other countries have been affected, specifically Russia, Poland, Georgia, and Taiwan. Several American members of the public were also reportedly affected in Bogota, Colombia. This is being taken seriously by US officials, so is a legitimate and true problem. When CIA Director William Burns travelled to India in September 2021, a member of his team reported symptoms consistent with Havana Syndrome and received medical attention, a US official said. A month earlier, Vice President Kamala Harris temporarily delayed her arrival in Vietnam after the State Department made her office aware of a possible anomalous health incident in Hanoi. Officials in other countries are also beginning to investigate the cause behind this mysterious illness. In July 2021, the State Department and the Austrian government said they were investigating possible cases in Vienna that had emerged in previous months. There are many theories and thoughts being thrown around as to the reason behind this condition, although there is no leading consensus. The US National Academies have stated that the most plausible explanation is that this is being inflicted through directed, pulsed radio frequency energy, or in other words, microwaves. This technology dates back to Cold War times, when similar beams were used to disable electronics. Interestingly, however, there have been no reports of electronics being disrupted in these recent scenarios. There is no concrete evidence or proof for anyone being behind this, so it's unclear if this is a malicious endeavour. Cases have been spread around the globe. Catherine Werner was jolted awake one night in 2017 by a pulsing, humming sound in her apartment in Guangzhou, China. She suffered headaches, nausea, and loss of balance for months, initially believing it was connected to high levels of pollution. Her mother flew out to help and also fell ill. Even Werner's dogs were ill. Werner was evacuated back to the US and diagnosed with an organic brain injury. The State Department tested about 300 other US staff in China, sending 15 home for further tests. China denied any role in what the US termed a health attack. No cause or culprit has been identified. Other theories include that this could be linked to chemicals. Dozens of Canadian embassy staff and their families also became ill in Havana, leading Canadian researchers to suggest Havana Syndrome may be linked to chemicals used in pesticides, insecticides, and nerve gases. Cuba launched an aggressive campaign against mosquitoes in 2016 to stop the Zika virus, spraying in and around offices and diplomatic residences. Separately, the US academies looked at chemical pollutants, along with other possible causes including an infectious disease, but decided the explanations didn't add up. There is also debate around a psychological component to the condition. In a 2019 study, US-New Zealand psychologist Robert Bartholomew likened Havana Syndrome to war trauma. A signature feature of shell shock was concussion-like symptoms. Other experts were less convinced, however, pointing out that the high number of complaints and vast geographic reach make the link to trauma or mass hysteria less likely. So, it remains unclear exactly why Havana Syndrome has affected so many individuals, and whether a malicious third party is involved or responsible. Cases continue to be reported to this day, all reporting similar experiences and symptoms. The one suspicious thread running through all of this is that the symptoms seem to be state officials in some capacity, with a few exceptions. This would seem to suggest that these people are being targeted, rather than simply being the result of a strange natural phenomenon. However, with no one taking responsibility for this, the true cause behind it may never reveal itself. Havana Syndrome remains one of the true mysteries of the modern world, and I'm sure that there will be more cases presenting themselves going forward. All we can hope for is that a breakthrough or discovery is made soon, which will allow us to lift the veil on this bizarre condition.